You don't lack discipline. You just don't respect yourself enough to listen. You wake up and touch your phone before you touch your day. You already showed yourself where you stand. Listen to me carefully. This is not about being lazy. This is about how you treat yourself when no one is watching. Every morning, you make a small decision. You either get up with intent, or you drift. You scroll. You check things that do not matter. You tell yourself you'll start after this. But after this keeps moving. You're not confused. You know exactly what you should be doing. You feel it when you open random apps. You feel it when you delay simple work. That feeling is not tiredness. It is you ignoring yourself again. And every time you do that, something small breaks. You stop trusting your own word. You stop believing you'll follow through. So you lower the bar. You expect less from yourself. Not because life is hard, but because it's easier than facing the quiet moment where you know you chose comfort. You keep saying you'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is already tired of hearing that. Think about how often you promise yourself something simple. Sleep earlier. Start the task. Stop scrolling. And then you don't. Nothing dramatic happens. No one yells. No penalty shows up. So you assume it's fine. But it stacks. It stacks every day. You train yourself to believe your own words mean nothing. That is not a discipline problem. That is a respect problem. You would not treat someone you respect this way. You would not ignore them. You would not keep lying to them. But you do it to yourself without thinking. You stay busy to avoid noticing. You plan just enough to feel responsible. But you never start. And at night, when things get quiet, you distract yourself again. Because silence reminds you what you avoided. You don't need more rules. You need to stop betraying yourself in small ways. You hit snooze like your time has no value. And you agree with it. Every time that alarm rings, that is you asking something of yourself. And every time you delay it, you answer. You tell yourself, not important. You think it's just 5 minutes. But it's not about time. It's about how easily you dismiss your own intention. You wouldn't do that to someone you respect. You wouldn't keep pushing them aside. But you do it to yourself daily. You wake up without a plan. So the day plans you. You react instead of decide. You check notifications like they matter more than your own direction. By noon, you feel behind. Not because the day was hard, but because you never showed up fully. And instead of fixing it, you scroll. You consume content. You watch other people move forward. You compare silently. You pretend it doesn't affect you, but it does. It reminds you of the gap between what you know and what you do. And that gap grows when you keep choosing ease over clarity. You are not overwhelmed. You are avoiding the moment where you have to take yourself seriously. You say you're busy, but you can't remember what you actually did. Busyness is a safe place to hide. It looks responsible. It sounds productive, but it protects you from starting the one thing that matters. You jump between tasks. You open apps without a reason. You check messages you already checked. You call it staying connected, but it's distraction. You do it because real focus feels uncomfortable. It forces you to sit with yourself, with your limits, with your excuses. So you stay in motion, not to move forward, but to avoid stopping. At the end of the day, you feel tired, but not fulfilled. That kind of tiredness is different. It comes from avoidance. And deep down, you know it. You know which task you avoided. You know which moment you chose comfort. And you tell yourself tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow looks a lot like today when nothing changes. You don't need motivation. You need to stop lying about why you don't start. You wait until you feel ready. You wait until it feels right. It rarely does. Waiting feels harmless. It feels patient. But most of the time, it's just delay dressed up as thinking. You overthink small decisions. You replay them in your head, not to solve them, but to avoid choosing. Because choosing means responsibility. It means if it doesn't work, you can't hide. So you stay in planning mode. You organize. You make lists. You watch videos about doing the thing. but you don't do the thing. That gap drains you, not the work itself. The avoidance does. You feel it when you go to sleep late for no reason. You feel it when you wake up already tired. You are not lacking energy. You are carrying the weight of unfinished intentions, and that weight adds up quietly. You don't need a breakthrough. You need to face the truth. You keep pushing away. You avoid silence, because silence makes things clear. When there's nothing playing, no video, no noise, no scrolling, your mind brings up what you ignored, so you keep something on. Always. You distract yourself from discomfort. You call it relaxing, but it's escape. You pretend everything is fine. You function. You show up just enough, but you know you're not fully present. You know you're capable of more attention than you give, more effort than you offer, and that knowing sits with you. Quietly. You don't hate yourself, but you don't fully respect yourself either. And that space between those two things is uncomfortable, so you fill it with content, with noise, with delay. You don't need to fix everything. You need to stop running from yourself. You keep your standards low where no one can see. That's where it starts. Publicly, you look fine. Privately, you let things slide. You skip the hard part when no one is watching. You choose what feels good now over what would matter later. And then you wonder why your confidence feels thin, why your words feel empty. Respect grows when your actions match your intent, not when you talk about it. Every small follow-through counts, and every small excuse does too. You're always teaching yourself how to treat your own promises. Right now, you are teaching yourself they don't matter. That lesson doesn't stay small. It leaks into everything. Your work, your focus, your sleep, your sense of direction. You don't need pressure. You need honesty. You already know what you avoid. You think about it more than you admit. This is not about being perfect. It's about being real with yourself. About noticing when you choose comfort without pretending it's something else. About seeing how often you delay, not because you can't act, but because you don't want to feel uncomfortable. Discipline isn't forcing yourself. It's respecting yourself enough to not abandon your own direction. Right now, you don't lack ability. You lack alignment. And you feel that gap every night when the day ends and nothing meaningful moved. Nothing changes until you stop excusing the small betrayals. You don't lack discipline. You've just been treating yourself like you don't matter.